Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yahush. Let me say that again. Forgive me. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there, or hopefully elect. Shalom. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, "Thy wife shall be an harlot in the city." We are still under the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. So I was going to open it with, I'm also going to deal with the chat GPT concerning the state and condition of Israelites, whether they know they're Israelites or accept it or not, in America, which is Babylon. So I'm gonna. So the title is from this precept right here, which is Amos 7 verse 17. It says, "Therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife, your wife, shall be an harlot in the city." And it represents your woman. "And thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword." And it says in the city. The city represents Babylon the Great, that great city. and thy land shall be divided by line. That's also in Isaiah 1 and 7. That's another scripture where they took the land in front of your face. I'm not going to go to it. By line, "and thou shalt die in a polluted land." That's America. Like I've been saying for the longest, the focus is not to go to every Israelite on the planet Earth, not to go to Africa and figure out, are these people Israelites or are they Hamites? Oh, they might be Israelites. Let's talk to them. The focus of this gospel is here in America. It came out of America. It didn't come out of Africa or any other place on the planet. It came out of America. It actually came from New York in Harlem, 1 West 125th Street. This is why Vocab Malone is so dedicated to coming against and debunking anything that we say, because his handlers told him that these guys have the truth. Everything that they're saying is going to come to pass. And the thing that these people are afraid of is that they, according to our teaching, that they're going to go into captivity. This is why nobody wants to deal with vocab. Ain't nobody want to deal with vocab. That's why I say call the cops on them. Like somehow he's going to say something and we're going to all of a sudden, experience an epiphany or have a eureka moment, and we're going to say, "Oh wow, I'm sorry, vocab. You were right. We were dead wrong. We're going to start following you." That ain't going to happen unless you're a weak Israelite that's not of the elect. The elect is not going to do that. Matthew 24. It says, if it was possible, it would deceive the very elect. So the ones that are former Israelites that no longer are Israelites, which you're Israelite whether you want to be or not, just like a man changing his plumbing, and he got his plumbing is different, he dresses different, he's still a man. You can't change that. That's why when these she's change up, they don't want to tell you that they were born as men, because they believe that they're actually women. He said, "Why should I tell them that I was a man? I was always a woman." A woman trapped in a man's body. And this place is fucked up, man. And then you know what? Vocab is not going to no happy clubs. He ain't going down to, I believe I even told him in his face, I said, "Why aren't you down there on Christopher Street trying to wake them up?" Oh, because we're concerned about you guys not going to hell. Don't worry about us going to hell. First of all, there's no such thing as hell. And that's a demon right there. That hell demon, that's another demon. And what made that thing popular among Israel is IUIC. They, or 2.5, 3 years ago, they started teaching that there's an actual hell that your soul burns in forever. The place where the worm dieth not. Nate said he just made up something on the fly. He said that's your soul. Remember, Jacob, thou worm, that's your soul. And he's waxing worse and worse. So anyway, yeah, last night he said that the Medes are the people of Iran. The Medes are not the people of Iran. The Medes in Isaiah 14 are the Russians. But I don't want to go to the map right now. I may do it a little bit later, or I may do it in another lesson to show you where the Medes are in relation to the people of Iran. So the Medes joined forces with the Persians, which the descendants of the Persians are the people of Iran. The Medes was a different nation. Two different people. So let me read this again. I'm sorry. Let me go to the word polluted. So let's pull out some words. Thy wife, meaning your woman in general, the Jake woman, the Israelite woman, shall be a harlot. Now the word in the, we're going to pull out these words. We're going to go to the NLT as well. I believe the word in the NLT is prostitute. A woman that sells her body. Exchange, quid pro quo. I give you my body, you give me X amount of dollars. And some of them just do it for free because they like to do it. They won't do it for money. They're fucked up. So let's read this again. Therefore thus saith Yahweh, that's Yahweh. How you going to say you're an Israelite, the prophet, and you don't know the name? First thing I'm going to say, okay, what's the name of your God? Yahweh. We went through that yesterday in the book of Numbers 20, verse 14, where Moses sent messengers to the king of the Edomites, or the king of Esau, to ask, can they go through their land, because they were going to the promised land. They were going north. And the king said the king said no, but the point is this. I should go ahead and read that. The point is, Moses was telling through the messengers, was telling brother Esau. He said, we went through with the Egyptians, and it goes on to say, and we were afflicted for a long time. And it said, we called on the name of the Lord, and he delivered us. So they were afflicted for many, many years, 400 years, according to the prophecy that was given to Abraham in, Genesis. I'm sorry, Genesis 15. It said that your seed will be a stranger, and then I'm merely paraphrasing. And he mentioned 400 years. So you got guys like HODC. They say, "Oh, Israel's just under the Egyptians for 200 years." That shows you that the Most High is not dealing with those guys. It was 400 years. Now you have Israelites that say, "Oh, that represents America." The vision that Abraham had, and that's spoken of in Genesis 15, is talking about America. No, it's not talking about America. And this demon, Vocab Malone, did a video that something in the title, did this years ago. I believe he did it 2019. He said Israelites teach that that the 400-year prophecy is America, then the thumbnail, you got an image of me. Then when you go to the video showing you that he's a snake, he says in the video, oh, Tahar and the GMS don't teach it. But why would you put my picture? You know what I should do? Let me see if it's still up. Give me a second here. I'm not gonna go to this now. Let me see if I can find it. And we're definitely the people. We definitely fit Deuteronomy 28, the curses, to this day. We still curse. When would the curses be lifted? When we're in the kingdom. Okay. Go to see if I can find it. Okay, this is what they. This is Alex Jones. They told Alex Jones is persona non grata when it comes to YouTube. Let's see what's gonna happen. This is the home page. China accuses Israel of war crimes. Demands, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Let me see. Oh yeah, she was dealing with Bill Russell. Now she's back. This is Sierra breaks down ecstasy. Yeah, she wanted. She was always for the streets. You know? Anyway. Okay, this is Ronnie Coleman's son. That's a built-ass family. Anyway, bear with me for a minute. I'm just kind of... Okay, we're one excited, not too excited. Bear with me for a minute, y'all. Yeah, so this is news to me. Another reason why you get you an Edomite woman, man. Get you a decent Edomite woman or one of the other nations' women. Make sure they decent, cause you gonna wind up dying with this black bitch, this Israelite woman. These are demons, man. So China, you don't want China to be involved. I'll get back into my thing. I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but. Where did I say I was gonna go? Okay, let me go to vocab. Vocab. Malone. See if this video is still up. Okay, let me do this. All right, what's this all about? They're gonna see what this guy does. Making people look crazy. Okay, good. Let me put 400. Let me just put 400 or 400 year maybe. 400 year. Let's see what comes up. "400-year prophecy debate fulfilled in Egypt or America." That was 2 years ago. Okay, now look, here it goes. This is one of them. This is 5 years ago. False Prophecy Club. 400 years prophecy failed follow up. You notice in the thumbnail he put me in there. He didn't put General Yohana there. He didn't put Bishop Nate. He put me up there. So when you watch that, when you come across this particular video, oh, I didn't know Tahar taught that. So this is deceptive, which means that's why we call him the devil. And then I don't know if it's this video. He did a couple of videos with my picture in the thumbnail, and then he says, "Well, Tahar, GMS doesn't teach that." But why would my picture be in there? And this is a follow-up. The 400-year prophecy, Hebrew Israelite era. Well, not all Israelites teach that. We don't teach that. IUIC doesn't teach that. Sakari doesn't teach it. ISUBK doesn't teach it. Okay, Hebrew Israelite 400-year 219 prophecy explained. What is the 400-year prophecy? And these came out around 2019, because Jake was saying, oh, 1619 to 2019, we out. That's 400 years. We out of here. So he had to put my picture in there. This guy's a real snake. Okay, some Hebrew Israelites predicted this for August 2020, 400-year prophecy. I'm trying to find the initial video with my picture in it. Okay, this is the only one. Anyway, I'm gonna get it back into the main. See, false prophecy club. This is deceptive. This is what devils do. This is what devils do. Anyway, and the devil, diablos, goes back to the word. The root of the word goes back to false accuser. So he's not saying that I said that, but he's got the picture in there. Oh, Tahar, I didn't know Tahar teach that too. Okay, so now let's come back to the main topic here. I wanted to pull out some words. I'm going to read this in the NLT as well. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city. We know that's talking about America, because code for America. And thy son shall, and thy daughter shall fall by the sword in America. And thy land shall be divided by line. That's our homeland. That's in Isaiah 1:7. And thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity. Fourth of his land, of Israel's land. That's the fourth part of Canaan. What's the guy? Uzenweller? Something like that. Let me see if it's up here. Mesenmuller. I got to show you all this. Okay, let me come over here. It said fourth part of his land, which is the fourth part of Canaan, which is over here in the Americas. Okay, you got, I don't know, I gotta, let me refresh this. Bear me for a minute, y'all. If she gets a haircut, then she refuses to pay for it. She misses the street. If Russell would have married the Edomite, he'd have been happy. There you go. That's your woman. That's your woman. She has no shame. You're gonna walk like that to get attention. Then you're gonna tell somebody why you're looking at me like that. Your black women, the majority of them belong in a fucking insane asylum, man. Oh, you gotta get a sister. That sister might kill you while you're sleeping. She might stab you up. And they put their babies in ovens, throw them out of windows, beat them to death. I'm all over the place, but just bear with me. Anyway. What did I say I was gonna do? Gonna open up something else. You know what? Let me just come back over. I'm sorry. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city. That's America. Your women are prostitutes, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. Oh, came back. It just came back. Google. The fourth part of the world. Here we go. Let me just open this up. See if this is the right book. Okay, this is Toby Lester. He talks about this guy. Give me a second here. Let me bring it on back. Bear me for a minute, y'all.
Go get it, Allie. Go.
This, if you don't know it already, is the Valtsimiller map. It's the
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me let you listen to a little bit of this. Let me play speed. Let me slow it down to here.
The original is on display in the Jefferson building. And
This is the Waldseemüller World Map 1507. Columbus had died about 2 years. He died in 1505. So Christopher Columbus, this is Africa. This is the Levant. This is Europe. That's Russia. This is what they said America was. They didn't know America was that vast. But they said America was like a long, snake-like island. So this was his original map. So when it says the fourth part of thy land in Amos 7 and 17, the polluted land is here in America. It says in Isaiah, give me a second. Let me go to Isaiah. Let me go to the ball. Let me put it in ball. B-A-L-L. This goes hand in hand with Deuteronomy 28:68. Isaiah 22 verse 18. He surely, the Most High shall surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. That's code for America. Fourth part of his land. Amos 7 and 17. The last line. There shalt thou die. Then they said in Amos 7. And there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house. So it was a shame for us to go into captivity this way, dying on ships, being thrown overboard, eaten by sharks. The glory is going to ultimately be when we're delivered. The strangeness of his salvation, which I'm not going to go into. I'm not going to go into that. So this is what is mean by the fourth part of his land. Israel's land is over here. Remember, Solomon had the Canaanites go back and forth to get resources from this land. Let me do this. Something in my mind. Let me see. Hey, polluted land. Come on back. So that, like a ball, is a ship. We're gonna come over here in slave ships into a large country. That large country is America. That's where the focus is. I keep saying that the focus of this gospel is here in America. Okay, let me do this. Let me come on back. Let me try to speed it up. Therefore, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, America, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line. And this part of your land too. America's part of your land. Canada, Central and South America's part of your land. Esau took it. And thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. That's talking about you're going to mainly go into captivity in America. The bulk of the Israelites is here in America because the deliverance is getting ready to come. Why do you think Trump is pushing them out? He's trying to upset the prophecies, man. You know, the Issacharite, the Latin tribe, they're saying, well, what is the black community? When are they going to help us? So the black woman community, so-called black community, is saying, well, you never helped us. You talk shit about us. You know, you look at us sideways if we deal with your women, or your men deal with our women, or whatever the case may be. So pretty much y'all on your own. And thou shalt, and you know what? That happened. That was the attitude with the two kingdoms. When there was a split, the northern kingdom and southern kingdom. The southern kingdom, when the Assyrians took them over, he said, well, that's good. That's happening again. When the Assyrians took them over, Judah wasn't helping. He said, look, y'all broke off. Fuck y'all. Y'all are on your own. Matter of fact, y'all not even Israelites no more. You know? That's what that whole Gentile thing was all about, too, in the New Testament. So let me go to the word. Let me pull out some words here. I'm sorry for stretching this out. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Any man that claims to be an Israelite, teacher, prophet, man of the Lord is working with him, and you ask him what's the Most High's name, if they say Yahweh, he's not a man of the Lord. If he says Yahuwah, he's not a man of the Lord. If he says Jesus the Christ, he's not a man of the Lord. The Lord is not dealing with him. Thy wife, the word there is Asha, which is a feminine form of saying man. Ash is man. Or I'm sorry, Ayash is man. And this supposed to be Ayasha, which is feminine man, which is a woman. Be it harlot. Let's deal with the word harlot. Back to the basics, back to the basics, back to the basics. The word is Zana. Zana. Harlot, go a-whoring. Whoredom, whore, commit fornication. Right? Fornication means adultery. Whorish, harlot. Commit continually great whores. To commit fornication. Fornication is a word, goes back to the word adultery. Be a harlot, play the harlot. The priest's daughter, if they played the harlot, you would have burn her with fire. To be a harlot, act as a harlot, commit fornication. To commit, and let me come back to this right here. Let me see something. Hope I didn't change it up. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Give me a second here. I'm trying to find this. Where the hell is it? Let me do this. See if I can find it again. Okay, harlot. No, it don't want to come up. With Sierra dancing. I guess she's in London. I can't find it now. How do you spell her name? Sierra in Sierra. I'm spelling the name wrong. Do it this way. I'm a terrible speller. Okay, that's her right there. Yeah, she went back to the streets. Now, Russell has every right to put her to death and not get locked up for it. Let me see something sick. Hold on, this best friend. Because she was always for the street. She tried to pay the wife thing. She said, nah, I'm tired of the wife stuff. So you must be tired of living. These are your women are for the street. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me come back. This is part of the topic anyway. So the word there for harlot is whore. Whore, prostitute. Yeah, prostitution, fornication, adultery. Let's come on back. Back to the basics, back to the basics, back to the basics. Harlot in the city, America, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword. That's easy. I don't got to explain that. And thy land shall be divided. That part of your land is America. Divided by line shall die in a polluted. Let's look up the word polluted. Ezekiel spoke about this. I believe that's Ezekiel 4. He spoke about it in Ezekiel 4 and Ezekiel 5 about your food shall be defiled among the Gentiles. I'm not going to go to that. So this word is tama or tama, which means unclean, impure, ethically and religiously, ritually of places. Tama, to be unclean, become unclean, become impure sexually. You know, when you laying around with different women, laying around with different men among our people, religiously, ceremonially. So you know what would stop this adultery, these women being on the streets? That their father's in the house, the father gives the daughter to the man he decides to give the daughter to. Women are doing their own thing, and what wound up happening? They got four children by 3 baby daddies. You know? And that's rampant in America among black women. You meet a black woman, she got 5 kids, guaranteed all those 5 kids are not from one man. Them 5 kids can be from 3 or 4 different men. She got like a mini UN in her household. That's why that stepfather thing, you know. That's why Jake, you know, find out that you got 3 kids. He gonna block you. He's not gonna come around. He ain't gonna call you no more. He gonna get rid of your number. He gonna change his number, cause he don't want to deal with the headache. Cause these little rascals, that the children, they're a bunch of baby's kids. That's what that movie was all about. That was Robert Harris. That was based upon a true story. These little rugrats he had to deal with to get this chick, black woman. You know? So, this is what I want to do. So I put in HIV in the African American community. This is what the chat says. HIV continues to disproportionately impact the African American community. We're talking about HIV/AIDS in the United States, in Babylon the Great, in a polluted land. Your women are polluted, which makes you polluted. And it says it's really big in the South, like in Texas and down south. You know, you got Jacob North, they're a little bit more sophisticated, you know, and they kind of take care of themselves, they're more holistic. But these Southerners, man, they just out there. They just out there, man. It says current statistics as of latest data from CDC and other health sources, disproportionate impact. African Americans represent about 13% of the U.S. population. They've been like that for years, which is about 45 million people. Hitting 50 million people. Population of America is supposed to be 350 million people, roughly. So we represent 13% of that. Nice size of population. It says the disproportionate impact. African Americans represent about 13% of the U.S. population, but account for approximately 40, almost 50% of people with HIV. That's 13% is a small percentage, but you're talking about of the 13% of people in this nation, almost 50% of our people are suffering from, and it's not just HIV. It's gonorrhea, syphilis, it's AIDS. So you got to stay away from these sisters, man. And you ain't going to get with a sister and say, oh, you got to go to the doctor to get a blood test to see if you got any disease. Now, if she'll be offended at that. She'll tell you, well, I ain't dealing with no, what you talking about? I go to the doctor every 6 months, lie her ass off. But then if she says, yes, okay, I agree with that, but you got to go in there too. How many of you Negroes... the only time you Negroes you go to the fucking hospital is when it's an emergency, man. You always go to the emergency. You don't say, oh, let me just go get a checkup. Niggas don't go get no goddamn checkup. Because when you go in the hospital, they might find something. Oh, wait a minute, you pre-diabetic and you just suffering from this, you suffering from that. And then you got to Jake don't like to go, especially men. So if you're going to tell her, oh, you got to go to the hospital to get a blood test so I can see that you ain't got no diseases, she's going to be offended, number one. And number two, if she does that, you're going to have to get tested too. So work that out. It says this is not good. These are not good numbers. 13% of the population of the United States, but 50%, almost 50% of the people of African Americans are HIV, other diseases. This is terrible. This is terrible. This right here proves that we're under the curses to this day. To this day, man. So you're talking about approximately 50 people with HIV. Okay, so we're talking about half of 350 is 100. We're talking about 100, like 120. I'm just roughly putting it together. Let me go to the half. Half of 350 is 150, 175. So let's go 150 million people, 125 million people that have AIDS are so-called black men and black women, Israelite men and Israelite women. So there's a good chance for every 3 Jake women you talk to, one of them got a disease. You know? It says new diagnosis. In recent years, African American, gay, and bisexual men, that's big in America. You got the down low crew. What's that all about? You got Jake they'll go to the gym, they'll lift, they got beards, they talk rough. You know, they drink beers or whatever, they hang out with the boys. They up with the Super Bowl, the NBA championships, they watch the boxing matches. Everything about them is masculine. They deal with women, but they do the down low thing. That only applies the down low only applies to Jake men, because Esau, if he feels happy, he gonna let the world know. That song Diana Ross coming out, I'm coming out. That's for Esau. That's a national anthem for Edomites, man. Jake ain't trying to come out like that, but then you got a certain amount of Jakes that are out like that. We're finding out these Jakes in the hip hop world, the music world, the acting world, that they both go, they go both ways. You know, this whole thing with Diddy, you're looking at Diddy, but you got to look at the whole picture. Okay, if he's doing it, who else is doing it? Who's at his white, all white parties? Denzel went, okay. Even Edomite actors and singers and so forth. A lot of Jakes went there, and a lot of them with the baby oil. So if you're gonna look at somebody in the hip hop community, he's a top singer, he probably got bent over. Or bent somebody over. That's why the majority of our people are gonna be destroyed right here in America. So we're talking about, damn. So you're talking about 50 million people, damn near all, mostly all, the majority of Jake got a STD. It says particularly young men have had the highest rate, young African American men in the gay and bisexual community. Bisexual meaning they go both ways. And they'll hide it. The down low. Look up the word down low. Somebody help me out. I'm not going to go to it. Have had the highest rate of new HIV diagnosis of any group. So chances are, you see a Jake walking down the street, there's a good chance that dude goes both ways. A woman, Israelite woman of the Kingdom of Judah, talking about Judite women, African American women are also disproportionately affected, accounting for over half of new. Ooh, so you run into a Jake woman, you talking to her, and you talk to another one. One of them got HIV. There's a 50-50 chance. And you ain't gonna tell them, look, I want you to go to the hospital. We know that story. Accounted for over half of new HIV diagnosis among women, among black women. Geography. The highest rates are often concentrated in the southern United States, the South, where access to healthcare can be more limited. No, the reason why they got these diseases is because they're sleeping around. They're sleeping around. That's why the law. What's the remedy for this? If a woman commit adultery, she gets put to death. If a man commit adultery, he get put to death. So this system that we're in is completely out of order. That's why the Most High is going to burn this place up. Okay, so key contributing factors, healthcare and stigma. African Americans are less likely to have access to regular health care or to be prescribed per exposure, prophylaxis or prophylaxis, a highly effective medication for HIV prevention. So you take this pill and you can sleep around, but what is the pill going to do to you? African Americans are less likely to have access to regular health care or to be prescribed this thing that when you're having sex, you do this pill and there's a less chance that you're going to get HIV. Like I said, those prescriptions always have consequences to it, right? Side effects. Stigma and mistrust of the healthcare system can deter individuals from getting tested or treated. How many Jake men are freely like to go to the hospital? You don't know what the fuck they doing to you. High prevalence in networks. Higher rates of HIV in a community increase the chance of exposure for individuals even when their behavior doesn't differ from others. You might be with your wife, you married, and she's a CO, and she cut a hole in her pants, and she be giving it to those inmates in quick, easy access, and she come home and she'll cook, and how you doing, baby? And then you wonder why you got a fucking disease. Y'all are fucked up. Mistrust in medical institutions is the remedy. Well, here it is. Let me read this. Mistrust in medical institutions, historical abuse, such as the Tuskegee syphilis study, have now doctors let these guys get all fucked up by syphilis, right? Have led to deep-seated mistrust in medical systems affecting engagement with prevention and treatment. We don't have to talk about the C. ragamuffin, which you had two major camps say no, go ahead and take it. But and I got receipts where they actually, I got video receipts where they told their people to go ahead and take it, and a lot of them, if not all of them, took it. Anyway, so I didn't know about this. This is a pre-ep, which is a increasing community education and access to pre-ep. I'm reading it like that among high-risk populations. So you're taking this pill, not knowing what's going to happen to you 10 years from now. You might get cancer. Okay, faith-based and community outreach, which is the churches, collaboration with churches and community groups, help spread awareness and reduce stigma. So you don't know that when you're sleeping around with a lot of different women, and a lot of times you got Jake women, you meet them and you take them home and you can get them that night or the night after that. So when they give it to you that goddamn fast, you're thinking, who else did she do this? Am I that special? No, I don't think I'm that special. So every man that she give it to the man the same night or the night after or the week after. You know? Ryan White HIV/AIDS program provides care and support to low-income people with HIV, including many African Americans. No, you don't need to go to the doctor. All you need to do is deal with a woman that's a virgin and put a lock on her thing. What's still needed? Broad education. The only education is if you get a woman, your woman got to stay with you. She can't mess around. You can't mess around and give her disease. The missiles can't come quick enough. The missiles can't come quick enough. Policy reforms to increase healthcare access and reduce structural racism. This is a racist country. This country is based upon race. You wouldn't have a great country without racism. Who built this country? Slaves. More research on effective strategies for engaging underrepresented populations. You don't trust this devil. Greater availability of rapid testing and mobile health services. You got the trucks that come by with the doctors in it, right? They did that with the C. ragamuffin, man. They were all up in your communities. So let me do this here. Now, when you look up the word, I'm sorry, let me come back. Give me a second. Okay, when you look up the word harlot, and if you call a sister a harlot, she gonna fight you. So look at this. This word, okay, this is H2181. H2181 is mentioned in the scriptures 93 times in 81 verses. And I believe that's just the Old Testament. That's the Old Testament because it's in the Hebrew. Whoredom, whore, adulterer, whorish. Sierra is a hoe. She for the streets. Harlot, go a whoring. You be better off getting a damn Edomite woman. But make sure she's checked out. You can't marry her though. You can make her concubine. Get you a big thigh Edomite woman. A pretty Edomite woman. Or another nation. You got Jake's, the passport bros. Why you think they going out of the country? Because they sick and tired of these black women up here in America. Okay, now let me give you this. And these are the curses, right? Consequences of disobedience. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh the Most High, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. 22nd verse, Deuteronomy 28. Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever and with an inflammation. Most of your diseases come from inflammation. Your body is acidic, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew. You got mold in your houses, right? And then you can die from that. And they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Let me see. Let me look up the word consumption. Give me a second. Everything's in the scriptures. Consumption. I want to look up the word consumption. Okay, the word there is shaka path. Wasting disease, a wasting disease of the lungs. Jake be smoking them Newports. So now let's come back over here. Bring out a couple more precepts and verses. Oh, pagan, you can't get pegged. You can't get pegged. 35th verse. Yahweh shall smite thee in the knees. How many Jake got bad knees? Oh, I got bad knees. And in the legs, I got bad legs. With a sore botch that represent the foot as well, that cannot be healed from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. Yeah, I got this inflammation in my ankle. I did everything. I got it. Sometimes it's there. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it comes back. Give me a second. Okay, right here, and then we're gonna end. So you dealing with these women, man, with these Jake women. You playing You playing Russian roulette with your body. And all of them, that's part of their culture because they raised up by their mothers. Their mother's a hoe. Guess what? They follow after their mother. She a hoe, the daughter's going to be a hoe. As a mother, so is the daughter. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear the glorious and fearful name, name Yahweh, thy power, thy God. So Nate doesn't even teach the name. Oh, we don't know the name. So if you don't know the name or you don't acknowledge the name, that means you don't fear the Lord. It says, then Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues. Hey, Nate, a couple of years ago, he was in his deathbed. And when he got out of the deathbed, he went to the 2022 Passover and he mentioned the name Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and Kanai Gabar mentioned the name Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And then a couple months later, he went back to calling on the Most High in Christ because he was good. When he was sick, you know, if you play with your kids, play in the park. You don't play with the Most High. Breaking the scriptures down all wrong, talking about there's a hell. And if there is a hell, you're gonna go to it. And the plagues of thy seed, thy children, even great plagues, and of a long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of a long continuous. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness, AIDS, HIV, herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea, and every plague which is not written in the book. So I mentioned those plagues. AIDS is not written in the book. HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, the clap. So there's so many new diseases out there. The book of this law, then will Yahweh bring upon thee, the Israelites, until thou be destroyed. A lot of Jakes be dropping dead. And it's always, if you go to the emergency room where Jake is, you're going to see Jake in the Latin tribes. Go to the fucking emergency room. 95% of the people that are fucked up is because of their diet and their lifestyles. A small percentage of them getting stabbed up or shot up. Or something dropping, the brick falling on their head. Or they're getting hit by a car. But the most of them is diet related. And then when you go to these hospitals, they got nutritionists that give you some crappy ass food. So we are in an effed up situation, bro. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. Forgive me for going long. On to the next shalom.